Hello, and welcome to the Gaming Twins podcast. Today, Nintendo did something wonderful. Or the Pokemon Company did, anyway. They released a new trailer for Pokemon Sun and Moon, and I was extremely surprised. I didn't know this was happening. I had absolutely no idea. Mondu tweeted it on Twitter for us, and I was like, wait, what? And it was like 10 minutes until they were going to release the video. I was like, oh, snap! There's a new Pokemon video coming out today.
Right.
So,
I was at work when all this news dropped. I was like, oh, come on. They
like
do
I
a
said,
video. I'm like...
Exactly. Like I said, I would have told you about this. I had no idea.
Right.
So, just magically, it's like, woo! Also, it's a brand new information. So, let's go ahead. I want to show you some of these Pokemon.
Okay.
We're going to go ahead and Nick's going to watch it, and then he's going to we're going to talk about the new Pokemon in the game for Pokemon Sun and Moon, including some of the new features they're adding.
I see. Okay. New features, huh?
Oh, yes. Okay, so we just got to see the new Pokemon. First of all, what's your opinion? Did you like any of them?
I liked all of them. I mean, the first one has that Wimp Out ability.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure if that's either switching
that's
between the
Wimpod.
team. Wimpod. Okay.
Yeah, so essentially, when his HP goes below 50%, he flees. It says. I'm assuming it's kind of like a baton pass almost or something.
Okay.
Maybe not a baton pass. Baton pass keeps stat changes and that kind of thing. But it probably just automatically switches.
And that's the thing. I'm thinking about that. I'm trying to think of the function that would have in battle.
Okay, so it actually says here on Serby, it says it will run away or swap out for another Pokemon.
There we go.
So I'm curious if that is confirmed, I guess.
Yeah,
Or I mean, like, are you gonna be able to pick what Pokemon, or is it just gonna throw one out?
I'd be curious.
Because that would seriously mess with teams and that kind of thing if he has that kind of ability.
Right.
Second one we had was Bounsweet, which was the grass Pokemon.
Okay. Adorable design.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, looks like a little berry.
Yeah.
For those of you watching on YouTube, I'll probably put some images of these Pokemon up on the screen so you guys can see them. Okay. I was okay with it. Whatever.
Yeah, it's a new Pokemon.
Yeah. So Mudsdale.
Wow.
Basically, it's a Clydesdale horse. Only it's got mud on it. And it is a
really
beast.
Neat ground type. Just solid. Just ground. Not ground rock. Not ground.
Exactly. It's just solid ground. Which has its advantages. It loses some of the weaknesses that you would get with a ground rock type Pokemon, right. Which has an absurd amount of weaknesses.
Right.
And many times makes it near unplayable. You know, for some of these Pokemon, very hard to make strategies
all of
around.
them obtained sturdy ability.
Yeah, they need sturdy ability because they get knocked out one hit all the time, even though they have some of the highest defense in the game.
Right.
So essentially, Mudsdale, which is a ground type Pokemon with the ability Own Tempo, which means it can't get confused. And Stamina.
Stamina, that looked interesting.
Yeah, which increases the Pokemon's defense by 1 when it is hit by an attack.
Any attack? Special attack? Physical attack? What?
It says hit by an attack. I assumed it was physical, but I guess not. So I guess when it takes a hit, its defense goes up by 1 point. Impressive. Or 1, stat boost. Pretty excited. That was by far my favorite Pokemon out of all of them.
I'd agree with that, yeah.
They had, what was it, Mimikyu?
Mimikyu, yeah.
Mimikyu keeps its Japanese name, and its ability to disguise, which allows it to escape from damage from an enemy attack just one time, and then it changes appearance. We saw its appearance change. All it really is its disguise kind of like falls over.
Yeah, it kind of like falls over slightly.
Claims it's broken. We have another Pokemon, who is the bear fighting normal type.
Bewear.
Probably one of the worst names. He is stacking up to be one of my least favorite Pokemon just ever. He's cheesy. I get it. He's like, okay, whatever. His design just looks so cheesy, like it's a giant teddy bear, and I think that's the point. He's supposed to look adorable, but he's really
giant
dangerous.
Teddy bear mascot. I would say
sure,
definitely a mascot.
Sure. Last week's podcast, I was making fun of him, saying he reminded me of Satan Bear or Pedo Bear.
Oh yes.
You said you were going to call him Strangle Bear because he likes to strangle people.
Yeah.
So its name is Bewear, which I think is cheesy as all heck. I get it. Like they were saying, like, oh, people of Alola Island, okay, are afraid of it because it can like kill people and that kind of thing just by giving them a hug.
Yeah.
It can snap them in two.
Yep.
So its name is Bewear. Very unsurprising there. Its ability is Fluffy, which halves damage taken from attacks that make direct contact.
Okay.
But in return, doubles the damage you take from fire type moves.
Huh.
Ooh, so he's a normal fighting with essentially a fire weakness.
If he has that ability, there's another one.
Yeah. What was his other ability?
Klutz.
So
Basically, that's a hold item. They just can't use it.
Yeah. So they don't take. They do. They can't
You can
use
expect
it, I guess?
him learning Fling, and then you can hold a Toxic Orb, and he'll throw it at him. That's
Makes sense.
it.
And he won't take the toxic or the burns from like a burn orb or anything like that.
Yep.
I don't see the other Pokemon. There was a Comfey, or Comfey, I guess Comfey, which was it was essentially a lei.
Okay.
Like it was a Hawaiian lei.
Okay.
It was a fairy type. I'm getting really confused with some of these fairy types because they seem to have an ongoing thing. Okay, if it has flowers, apparently that's fairy type. Like many times, like I don't know. It just seems a little weird. You know, why they're not making it like it looks like it's supposed to be a fairy type. It's a lei.
Yeah. Well, to be fair,
I guess they're going for like
Klefki doesn't have flowers. Although
no, it doesn't. I'm not saying fairy is restricted to flowers. I'm just saying like when they have like flowers, which you would assume is grass of some kind, it ends up being fairy instead.
Yeah. Well, I think they're making these fairies have like little quirky things that they do. Of course, Klefki collects keys. Okay. What is that little flower one? Little flower one. Of course, it nurtures a flower, and then this lei Comfey.
Yeah. So like Flabebe. I don't know how to say that. Was also a fairy type.
Yes.
Was Florges? Does Florges turn into a Florges?
It's just straight fairy.
Straight fairy?
Straight fairy.
See what I mean? So this is another flower-based Pokemon, which is instead being a fairy type.
Yeah. It's giving an inanimate object an existence, I guess. You know.
So I take that back. I think Comfey is a far worse design than Bewear. Bewear, it's a bear. Wasn't really a big fan of that one. But other than that, I really like the designs overall.
Yeah. They're decent. I mean, I see them all. I'm like, yep, that's Pokemon. Yeah. Works for me.
Yeah, like it doesn't bother me. I mean, Klefki, yeah, I agree. It's terrible design. The ice cream cone and all that. Also terrible designs. But whatever. I can look past that. A lot of the other ones look fantastic, so I'm excited about those.
I'm excited about just about every one of the Pokemon available. Not caring for the giant rainbow fish.
Yeah, the giant rainbow fish. I don't remember what its name was either.
I don't remember what its name was. But I'm excited to train everything I have seen so far.
Yeah.
Just everything.
I'm training that Dagnam Mudsdale. I can't wait. That is by far my favorite Pokemon from this generation so far. The Mudsdale just looks amazing. Okay, so they're also adding the ability to, I guess, host your own online competitions.
I'm excited for this.
I'm super excited about this.
I'm mega excited for this because this sounds like maybe something we can do on our Twitch stream.
Yes, on our Twitch stream. I'm very excited about that. I think that's gonna be fun. Obviously, we won't be able to stream it because we don't have a streamer's or a capture device version of the 3DS. But I think it would be something fun for our community to participate in.
Yeah.
Host your own competitions. Mondo and I were talking about it earlier, and we were thinking, well, I wonder how much control we're going to have over making the competitions. Could we do single types? Can we do, no legends? Could we do only legends? Can we do generations?
I'd imagine we're not going to have that
splits.
much control, but I'd imagine if this thing does take off, they would start slowly adding in those things with next games down the line,
Yeah, so one way or another, I mean, they're probably going to add new features to it over the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super excited about it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope to definitely try out the online competitions. It said you can do. It says that the online one's okay. those are like the ones where you just kind of participate, and the more you battle, the more you rank up.
Oh, okay.
Versus they also have the ability to do live competitions, but they have to be done around people. Like they have to be with you to do a live competition. Yeah, so like a local place, like you go to your local card shop and they have a competition where you enter into like a bracket system or something.
Okay. Wait, so this new online system, this new competition thing, can that be done other than locally?
Yes. So they have an online version, but basically what it is it's like you get on, you battle other people, and you can battle as much as you want, and it'll change your rank.
Okay.
Kind of like that.
Okay.
Remember when we tried to set up that Smash Brothers tournament? Where it was like, oh, just battle between like these 2 days, battle as much as you can online against other people in the competition.
Oh, yeah.
And you can raise your rank that way. And I think that's how the online competitions work.
I guess it'll be interesting still.
Yeah, still an awesome thing. I still think it's going to be fun. But local competition is going to be very, very cool for local shops and that kind of thing. And just community events.
Definitely. I could imagine this being awesome with Pokemon Go.
Yes.
Being out and everyone just collecting to local Pokestops and gyms and all sorts of things.
Yeah. Okay, so the last thing that we saw in the video as well, is a new mode called Hyper Training. Mm-hmm. Okay, so here's a few extra details here I'm getting via Siri.
Okay.
With Hyper Training, Pokemon have to grow to level 100. And will be able to increase their individual values, their IVs, which has never been possible before.
Right.
So essentially, you could, once you level up a Pokemon to 100, you can change their individual values. Those are the values that they're hatched with.
Yeah.
Their base stats. So not their EVs, which you use the Carboses, and you can do your super training.
Yep.
This is hyper training for IVs. So essentially what we now have is the ability to course correct any Pokemon we want.
That's impressive.
Which I'm extremely excited about. I mean, even down to the point where it's like, oh, they have the wrong ability, you just use an ability capsule on them.
Yep.
Swap their ability around.
Yeah. Didn't Eve train them? You go.
Exactly. You didn't need to train them, you can train them. You can clear all their Eves and all that, and you can just restart them and train them exactly how you want. And now at this point, you can even dodge breeding. And I was discussing it earlier, and you can actually take a team you played the game with, because, when you do your first run through, you're going to use Pokemon you catch, and oftentimes those things, they're not perfect. They weren't breeded perfectly, via egg.
Of course not.
Now, with the hyper training, you can correct any Pokemon you use through your first campaign.
Yeah.
That you caught in the wild. So this is awesome for people who don't want to have to hatch every single Pokemon and do the individual ridiculous amount of work you have to put in just to hatch one Pokemon and make it perfect.
Well, what I'm loving about this, is that I believe a whole lot of people have their own special Pokemon. Their personal favorites, ones they've either played previous games with, or or some people, they have rare-colored Pokemon,
Yep.
If you have those and you didn't do tricks to get it, I mean, you're pretty much stuck with what you get.
Yeah.
But you have to correct those.
Yeah. So, think about it like this, okay? You see all these people in the competitions and stuff, okay, where they're having, like, half their team is rare-colored and all that.
Right.
Well, darn well, those things are hatched rare colors.
Yeah.
Because you need to have those stats perfect when going into competitions and like that. So, I'm super excited as well. I've never been able to hatch a rare-colored Pokemon. I haven't tried very hard, to be honest.
Yeah, right.
But I do have multiple Pokemon I caught in the wild that were rare-colored.
Yeah.
And tons of Pokemon from the past,
Right.
that just have base stats. They're just not right. They're just not right. The ability's all wrong. It's just like, it'd be easier to restart. And now
just tell me about that. I got a Kecleon with camouflage.
Yeah.
Or not camouflage, the color change ability. And it's like, it's so easy to mess him up like with that. If I can change it with the ability capsule, changes IVs and EVs, I'll correct that.
See, now the only thing we don't have now is the ability to get into the hidden abilities yet. I sure hope that this game allows you to make it easier to get the hidden abilities, even if it's just throw it in with the ability capsule and just say forget it. You know what I mean? I know that they have a lot of these exclusive things, and I mean, I would rather just an even playing field, which I really do feel with the hyper training, with the super training.
You're making it a whole lot more accessible. That's for sure.
Yeah. So ability capsule, super training, IV training or the hyper training, okay, you're definitely evening the playing field for just the amount of setup and work that has to go into it. And if we could just eliminate these hidden abilities, I would be very happy.
Right.
Just to get these things, out of the way.
Right. Yeah.
So super excited. New information seems to be pouring out of Nintendo or the Pokemon Company like every other week. We have like a new trailer for this game, and I'm very surprised. I really expected this to be a complete trickle of information,
Right.
giving us one lousy Pokemon every 3 weeks, maybe if we were lucky. So I'm super excited about this.